Moving along. Do you believe in man-made global warming? I've got to ask these questions. We're trying to be standardized.
No, I don't. I just,
And
okay.
actually, Rob, we're actually not sure how the other candidates will answer these questions. With you, we have a fair idea.
That's good, right? No, I don't. And I'm against a lot of the government regulations that destroy our lifestyle that we have in this country. But we do have to be good stewards, okay? I mean, we do have to have common sense regulations that control these mega companies that do pollute. We have to watch what's going on. I lived in New Orleans and watched Lake Pontchartrain get cleaned up. And it did happen. It was very polluted. I think we saw the same in the Great Lakes back in the 70s and whatnot. Okay, so we do know that if industries can just do what they want, they will end up taking all our resources. So we do have to have some common sense goals here. But at the same time, I'm not willing to give up my lifestyle. I don't want to go back to washing with rocks and riding some horse. I work in Minneapolis. Do you realize how long that would take to get from Cumberland to Minneapolis? That's 100 miles, Of course, if they want, we probably wouldn't even have the horses, manure and, so I guess it's back to walking. And no.
And I assume you would vote no on any sort of global climate change agreements.
Absolutely.
What federal agencies do you believe are unconstitutional?
Well, there's 28 that come to mind right off the bat. Okay? And that's just right off the bat. There's a lot more. There's probably 1,000 agencies that are unconstitutional, and God only knows how many acts that we have in our bills that are unconstitutional. But right off the bat, Department of Education, Department of Revenue, federal, the DEA is way beyond their constitutional bounds. They should only be protecting the borders of the United States against drug trafficking, and that's what we have states for. EPA, that's one of my favorites. So the list can go on and on. I mean, there are, like I said, they come to mind right now, and I can't really list them all off, but I know of 28 that are totally unconstitutional. And let's take the EPA, for example. I mean, has anybody ever seen the organization chart to the EPA? This thing is huge. I mean, huge. There's thousands of people that work here. It's got to go. I mean, that's, to me, when you start saying cut taxes, let's get rid of some of these departments. Don't tell me that I'm going to cut departments that we don't have anybody in right now. Well, I think I heard that today on the radio as somebody's idea. And I'd be happy to produce the list, even tonight if you want, as soon as I get back to my computer. But no, get them out. Go. Bye.
Do you support the Patriot Act?
No.
Tell us why. Elaborate.
First of all, the Patriot Act was delivered, I think it's 1865 pages long. That might be a rough guess. It was delivered on the Senate floor roughly about 11 hours before it was voted on. My understanding, it takes about 40 to 45 hours just to read this bill, or the act itself. There's no way that anybody who voted for this thing read this bill. So that's one. I'm a firm believer in we debate one issue at a time, and we read every bill. Okay? I know that didn't happen, so right off the bat, the whole act of voting for this was unconstitutional. Second, if you go through and start looking, I haven't read the act. I can honestly say the whole thing. I mean, I've seen blurbs and pieces of it here and there, but it is just riddled with violations of the Second and Fourth Amendment, left and right. So no, I think that there may have been some interesting, good intentions there, and I say interesting because again, I don't trust. I haven't trusted the federal government so long. I can't believe a thing that they're telling me.
So in other words, you wouldn't trust the Patriot Act under Bush. You would trust it under Bush, but not under Obama.
I wouldn't trust it either one.
And then there was one other comment. I think sometimes you have to give up a little to keep your security. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I think that's hogwash. We don't give up anything. Once we start giving up, they will not quit taking. Okay, and that's a fact. All right, it's a fact. For one thing, it's human nature of people in so-called power. What we have are people in power, or representatives in power. And folks, we've messed up. We're the ones in power. Okay? I mean, these people are servants. Okay? We have to get that power back. I mean, we're the ones who have the power, not them. And but we've let them go. We let them do this, and it's been going on and on and on for decades. So, you know, it's human nature to start taking more rights. So,
What do you believe is the best way to combat terrorism?
bring our troops home, put them on the border. That's an interesting question, you know, and I don't have access to all the intelligence reports and this and that. So how do you combat this? I mean, terrorism has been going on for decades. The only thing that we can do is try to protect ourselves. We have militia groups to handle emergencies. We put people on the border to keep from being invaded and terrorists from coming in. It doesn't mean that we strip us of our rights to move about, travel. You know, certainly don't need to make it inconvenient as it is. I used to fly 500,000 miles a year in my job. I can't stand to go to an airport now, okay? I think that we've all been tricked into this war on terror. I mean, is it a war? I mean, is it really happening? I think it's something that they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing at us. We bring our troops back here, then come on, bring it on, you know?
Are you saying that after 9/11 you would not have gone to Afghanistan?
You know, I was pretty swept up in all that, and I believed in what Bush was doing at the time. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I really don't. I think now that I would have thought about it a lot heavier. I don't think that I would have committed the amount of U.S. troops to invade a country that why these are people in the mountains, and supposedly we have CIA and all these advanced teams. I mean, we could have just sent in special forces and taken them out. I don't think that to round up National Guard troops and to make an invading force. I think we went about it the wrong way. Now, that's playing Monday morning quarterback, right? I mean, like I said, I was swept up in it. Well, let's go kick some butt. Let's go. You mess with us, and we're going to take you out. Could we have done it better? I don't know.